Hello, my name is Fiona Stanton from Fee's Papercraft. Today I want to show you what was left over from the Soft Sayings card kit. I did that video last week, which is quite a long one, but I showed you the 10 cards you could make there. You can make 20, but there's 10 designs, so I showed you 10 designs. Now I wanted to show you what you could do with the leftovers from that kit. Now, with the Soft Sayings card kit, there is a refill pack. So if you want to redo those cards again, you liked them, or your customers liked them, or your friends liked them, and you want to redo them again, you can do. There's a refill pack you can buy, I think, for about £19. But I wanted to show you what you could do with just what the leftovers were. There wasn't much leftovers, I have to say. It was pretty used up, but there was a little bit of baker's twine. There was some washi tape. Obviously had this gold paper. Now all the elements from it have been taken, but I thought if you had some of the punches, some of the builder punches, say like the gingerbread men, they have little elements to it, like hearts and circles and things like that. So if you've got one of those punches, which you could use and just add, and they could just add little accents, you know, punch out the hearts and the circles, and you could use it for just accents on your cards. But I'll show you what else I just did with that without punching it. Obviously you've got the stamp set, and that's great. I mean, stamp set is a tool, so that's always going to be useful, and you're always going to be able to use these sentiments and the flowers for all your projects. So I'll show you the first card. Now I'm using the 2016-18 colours because they're going to retire soon. They're going to retire at the end of May, 31st of May. They'll go on the retirement list. The retirement list will come out in the beginning of May, and then they will go. Shibum. They won't be there at the end of May. Everybody suddenly panics and thinks, oh, they're retiring, I like them, I need to go and get them. So this is a really simple card. All we're going to do, we're going to use these smaller stamps to make a background. So I'm just going to stamp this multiple times. I'm not going to be too careful or precise about it. She says now I've developed a pattern for it. But I'm just putting these on randomly, really, just to make our own background paper. It is fairly random, actually. Okay, so that's that one. Put that back. Always put your stamps back, you don't want to lose them. That's a smaller one. So that was Peekaboo Peach. The next one is Emerald Envy. And we're just going to use this to add the little teeny weeny leaf. It's a very teeny weeny. These are nice. The leaves and the flowers would be quite useful. And obviously you could colour these in with your pencils or your markers because they are open. So if you wanted to use your stamping blends, which unfortunately you can't order at the moment until the end of May. The demand for them has been so high. I mean, they are really good quality and they're very good alcohol markers. So I can understand why they've gone, they can't keep up with production basically. So they'll come back at the end of May. And I'll let you know when they're audible. But you could use your stamping blends with these. You could use your watercolour pencils. You'd have to be careful because obviously if you're using a coloured ink, the ink is water-based as well, so you would bleed through. So now we're just going to get our washi tape. So let me just bring that in so you can see what we're doing. I'm just going to do 2 strips. If you've done some really bad stamping, that was a short bit, wasn't it? Then you could always make sure you place your washi tape over the areas that you don't like. Gone from one extreme to the other. Let's just take that bit off as well. There we go. And so I should have said the other thing I had left was this whole sheet of die cuts. So you get 2 sheets of these, which is good. So if you make a mistake, you can always do it again. So to my dear friend. Let me just see which one that is. To my dear friend up there. I'm doing that in Peekaboo Peach as well. So that's nice. You get 8 of those die cuts extra as well. So I guess that's in case you're making mistakes. I should have said I still had some stamping dimensionals left as well. Not many, but obviously, as you know, stamping dimensionals, always use the outside edge as well. Very useful. Never waste anything like that. No, 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 because I will come along and I will tell you off. There we go. And that's a very simple card using the stamps and some of the leftover bits and pieces. That's one. One down. Okay, now this one I like. Now this one I've introduced another, oh, that's got some ink in it. Use the back of that. I have introduced another stamp set. This stamp set is called Timeless Texture, and I've done the background with it. So let me start with that first of all. Timeless Texture is a wonderful stamp set. In fact, any stamp sets, I think Stampin' Up! Had a few of these, but any stamp sets that add texture to your backgrounds will always be useful and will always be used. They just add just a little je ne sais quoi, shall we say. Is that the right way of saying it? Yeah. Just something extra, just to add some interest, fill in some of those blank spaces. Sometimes we don't like blank spaces on our card. Now I'm going to stamp off all of this. There we go. So I don't want it strong. So this is Sugar Plum, Sweet Sugar Plum. So this is another one that will be retiring. So we've got quite a few of the Timeless Texture stamps in this one. So if you can get background stamps, I would, because they just are always useful. And so this one, this is like a coffee stain or a tea stain, depending on what you drink. And also with stamps like this, you don't have to be exact, you don't have to be perfect. I mean, obviously you're going to have an idea of what you're looking for and what you're trying to do, but it doesn't matter. And these are dots. Dots are filling in some white space. And with this one, look, actually it doesn't matter. I can go around and just keep on stamping. I don't have to re-ink it all the time. There we go. But these, just if you think something is just too white or too blank and needs an extra something, then stamps like this will help. Now we're going to add in some more detail with the big flower and the more decorated leaf. So again, in Sweet Sugar Plum. Now I'm going to leave this full strength because these are these stamps I'm mainly trying to show. So I want these to overpower the rest of the design. There we go. And I'll clean all my stamps up later, don't worry. I can see you going, those are looking mucky. Those are looking mucky. I don't mind my stamps looking mucky. It shows that I use them. It shows that they are getting use. Right. So again, you can see here, I've used it full strength and then I've stamped it off. And that's just nice. And as long as you make sure, which sometimes I don't, that you do the same thing, you stamp and you stamp off. So this is called first and second generation stamping. Could be called stamping off. There's many names to the technique. Right, and now we just need one of these again. Let's take that stamp off so I don't lose anything. Always put your stamps and dies back as soon as you use them. You don't want to have that hunt around your craft room trying to find where all your stamps have got to because you didn't put them back. Dies are the worst, small metal dies. If they slip out the packet, and that's it sometimes. So just be careful, make sure, this is what Mummy Fiona's saying, put your dies and stamps back. So just a note. There we go. And I think this looks like just a note card. Now then, I'm sure you remember from my last video how much I hate doing bows. So my way around it is I've got this twine and I've overlapped it. So there's 4 strands, okay? I don't know if you can see that. So I've wrapped, just gone up, down, so there's 4 strands. So I'm going to put a stamping dimensional in the middle there. I'm going to put my twine there. I'm going to add some more dimensionals to the back of my sentiment. Ooh. And then I'm going to plonk this on. I'm sure there's a more delicate way of saying it than just plonk. We'll try and make sure it's straight. There we go. Right, so just a note. Then what I do is I snip the ends where it's looped over. And so we've got the ribbon, but we don't have to have a bow because I don't like bows. I don't do bows. Now I've managed to get ink all over that card. Look, I've got ink everywhere. How did I manage to do that? There you go. That's not cleaning my block for you probably. But so that's that card there. So that's using Timeless Textures. We're going to use Timeless Textures for one more time. This is the last card. As you can see, I've used all 5 colours from 2016-18 range. So if you do like these colours, I suggest you get them now, you get them as soon as possible, because they will sell out, because they do. Right, so we're using Flirty Flamingo and Dapper Denim. That's a combination I never thought I'd actually put together, but it seems to work quite well. And we're using our Timeless Texture stamp again. I love this stamp. I've used this so much. I think this is a great background stamp. I don't know what you call it, a fleur-de-lis maybe? It's not quite a fleur-de-lis, is it? But it's so distressed already. If I stamp it out, you can see. So it just adds interest, this one. I just find it such an interesting stamp. And because it's already distressed, if you slip, if it all goes a bit wrong, it doesn't really matter. And this is great if you want looking to antique your cards or distress your cards. You just keep stamping it. You just stamp it once and keep stamping, don't re-ink it. And it softens down and looks lovely. Right, so I wanted to show you what I did with this. So I used this as a stencil. Now the first time I did this, I did it a bit wrong. I did it this way round, which is fine. But what you'll find, and you can probably see in my ink pad, is that I've got gold glitter in my ink pad. Which is not a biggie really, it's not a biggie, but it is slightly irritating. So I decided I'd do it this way. You will still get gold rubbing off. You'll get gold rubbing off on your card, which is fine really. You know, who doesn't like a bit of sparkle on their cards? That sparkle will, in the ink pad, will eventually go. Now what I found I need to do is kind of circle and mush it a little bit to get a nice strong through. Ooh. So that's what I've done. Oh, try not to move it, obviously. And obviously you could tape it down and you could mask off the areas that you don't want, so that you don't have something on there which you don't, so you don't go over that rose, or you don't go over that petal there, those leaves I should say. Right. And it's a nice little airbrush, and it just, again, adds that interest to it. That's what we're doing with our cards, we're adding interest. And I die cut 2 of the leaves from the beautiful bouquet set, which matches these leaves. I've done it in vellum, that's the word I'm looking for. So, again, I'm just going to stick a pad down there, a dimensional down there to add these. There we go. And again, it's just adding interest to your cards. So get my Flirty Flamingo again, last sentiment. And I'm going to use these. I do like these shapes. I didn't put my stamp back. So do as I say, not what I do. I think you're wonderful. I mean, I know I haven't done it completely, but if you use, say, a green behind it, or if you even use the Dapper Denim, but stamped it off a couple of times for the kind of fleur-de-lis stamps there, you could make this quite masculine, even though you're losing the kind of feminine elements, if as such. I don't know. I don't think these are particularly feminine or masculine, but I know sometimes we worry about masculine cards and making masculine cards, and I think if you change the colours, even though you might be using something which you feel is feminine, it can make it more, it can make it masculine. Right. I've got ink all over my hands. Oh, there's my card. Sorry, my colour's way off then. So I think You're Wonderful goes there. And I love these. I love these. I hope these continue. I bet they won't, but I wish they would. And these are the glitter enamel dots. Which one am I doing? And they go with, actually, the Colourful Seasons, Colour Therapy even, stamp set and bundle. You know, the Colourful Seasons stamp set and dies. Yeah, from the annual catalogue. So they kind of match that. So there you go. Those are my 3 cards, using the leftovers from my Soft Sayings card kit. Ooh. So those are my 3 designs, using the leftovers from the Soft Sayings card kit and a few extra pieces just to bulk it out a little. I hope you like it. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.